Well, there's never a shortage of shows or sights and sounds throughout this city, but for the next few hours, all eyes are glued to Allegiant Stadium here in Las Vegas. Tonight, we've got a great Sunday night matchup between the Buffalo Bills and the Las Vegas Raiders. And off we go from Las Vegas. And we will not get a run back here to start. It's a touchback, and it will come out to the 25. Three tight ends in the ball game here on 1st and 10. And the drive starts with a handoff to Coleman. That time, the right guard sending him backwards.
And so many different types of guys rotate in on the defensive line now, depending on situations. You can get the bulky guy, the fast guy. No matter what, though, you can't hold them.
Now Carr. On the screen, this is Coleman. That's a gain of 11. Would have been a first down if not for that penalty moments ago. He's a reigning AFC Offensive Player of the Week, and defensively, they have to find an answer for him.
And that's what you would do if you were calling plays, right?
Absolutely.
You'd make sure that he gets targeted. But the thing about it is the route running. That's what makes him so dangerous, is because no matter what is presented defensively, he runs his route with such skill that he's able to go up and get the football first in each and every situation.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. A handoff, Coleman between the tackles. And he'll be tackled at about the 35. Give him 8 yards there. Still a few inches to go, though, as it'll be 3rd down and about the length of the football. We should mention, to go along with a great game he had last week, he was rightfully named AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
And he shares that with his offensive line, the tight end, his fullback. He's looking for more and more of that in this game.
An early test for this defense. Here we go on 3rd and inches. They'll try and run for it here. It's Coleman, and he's going to have the first down at about the 38. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues. The Raiders in a very solid 4-1 here in the early part of the year. And they've come in on a nice run of recent form, 4 wins out of 5.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Coleman. And he's got room. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 14 yards is the pickup there at a Raider first. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation? We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
So 1st and 10 now in Buffalo territory at the 47. On play action, now Carr. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. Pretty solid opening drive here, Charles. They've worked in the run game, the pass game, just steadily getting yards, and now they've got it inside the red zone here with an opportunity.
And the only thing they don't have so far is points. But the way that they're moving the ball now, that shouldn't take much longer. And they've established a great balance so far, running, passing, doing what they want on offense.
They'll run with Coleman on first down. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
That loss of 3, a rare stumble on a promising drive. Here's second and 13. Give him 2 yards that time, and it's going to leave him with a 3rd and 11 situation. Well, this defense for the Bills, they were excellent last week in the win over the Chargers.
And no matter what's done throughout a ball game, it always comes back to blocking and tackling. That's the essence of football. But I think it's hard for people to understand just how difficult it is to tackle, especially open field. Very few missed tackles on tape that I saw last game. This team does a nice job of getting their opponents on the ground.
Throwing his car on third down. And it's complete to Adams. And they move this all the way down to the 9. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
That's a big conversion there on third down, and this has been a great opening drive. You know, at this point, they'd hate to settle for 3, but they've created a fresh set of downs and a 1st and goal.
A terrific opening drive has them knocking on the door, 1st and goal. From the gun, it's a handoff to Coleman. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. A great effort there. His 5th rushing touchdown now on the year. And the Raiders put the Knights' first points on the board as they take the early lead. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. On is the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Throwing to start the drive. Allen. He will find Davis on the left side, complete. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
Brandon, to me, what's important right here on this drive is for them to get at least 2 first downs. They've got to give their defense a chance to settle down, catch their breath a little bit after they give up a touchdown on the opening drive.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Now the first carry for Zach Moss. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31. So, Charles, you look at this offense, and really on paper at least, a great situation for them upcoming. They're unbeaten on the year, an open week coming up after this. So I guess my question, any worry that maybe this is coming at the wrong time?
Oh, definitely I would be worried about this game, maybe more than any other on the schedule, because I know my guys are looking ahead to that open week. I've got to keep them focused on the task ahead, make sure they take care of business in this one. Otherwise, you're talking about a double trap. The trap of losing the game and then having the open week and having to stew about it.
Now Allen. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. In that time for the sack, say hello to Chandler Jones. So now on fourth down, Sam Martin on to punt for Buffalo. Taken from just outside the 30. That'll be a 41-yard punt, 4 yards there on the return. And it'll be Raiders football, 1st and 10. The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. And he is going to lose yardage here. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Here's Carr to throw. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he is going to lose yardage here. 2 yards the loss there. Now 3rd and 14.
Well, Brandon, we could see that play developing, and they were hoping that he was going to be able to put a move on the first guy and turn it into a big play. But no such luck. The speed on defense continues to get better and better in the NFL. Pretty nice example there of those guys being able to run from their assignments and finish off that play. The Bills bring out a couple of extra defensive backs to defend this 3rd down play.
Yeah, they're going dime. Throwing now is Carr. Here's Johnson with a reception. It's a big play there for Vegas. 47 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Coleman will try up the middle, and he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. The defense showing some anger after giving up the big play. This time they'll lose 1 or 2. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. Carr going to throw. Johnson's got it complete. And he'll be marked down right at the 15-yard line.
As long as you go through your proper reads and progressions, the drag route can be one of those old reliable plays because usually it's good for a good chunk of yardage, as we just saw there.
And those guys like it, right? They can get the ball with a full head of steam.
Especially against man coverage, because man coverage, they're typically running away from someone and not worried about traffic coming out on the other end.
The Raiders on 3rd down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. Here it's 3rd and 3. From the gun, it's Carr. Drops it off for Coleman. And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12. 4 yards on the pickup, good enough to extend the drive.
Well, they certainly made a point of getting him involved in the passing game here in the first half. They must have seen something in the scouting that said, hey, we can capitalize on him getting the ball possibly in the open field. And I think in the second half, that may loosen up the defense a little bit to get the running game going back inside.
On the counter, here's Coleman. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
He did have the touchdown run earlier, but not a heck of a lot more than that throughout this game.
No, not at all. In fact, I would say that this defense has done as good of a job on him as they have on any runner in recent memory. Now 2nd and 5. Snap will come from the 6. They will run again with Coleman. And this carry not as productive. He swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
So if you've been playing defense in this one, there's a little bit of the good and some bad, because they did give up the touchdown run to him earlier, but shut him down otherwise.
Outside of that, you're exactly right. I would say they've contained him very well. Already a pair of 3rd down conversions for them on this drive, but right now they need 5 yards on this 3rd down try. Now Carr. And he finds Waller in the end zone for a Raider touchdown. A great play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Raiders have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. And they come into this one riding that nice long win streak. And remember, next weekend is an open week for them. So if they can get the win here, a lot of momentum into that time off.
It certainly is. And if you're wondering if anybody's saying, boy, this is coming at a bad time, we want to keep playing, the answer can be yes. Because when teams are on a hot streak, they want to keep going. But what the veterans are telling the young guys in the locker room, an open week is always good, guys. Take it and let's go with it.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Now Allen. And that is incomplete. Nearly intercepted. The free safety couldn't quite get his hands around it, and it brings up 3rd down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. The threat of a second straight punt to start the game is looming as they come up 3rd and 10. Here's Allen. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A big 3rd down conversion with a gain of 28.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half. I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
Allen now on 1st down. He's going to air one out. He rifles one that's intercepted. picked off by Trayvon Merrick. And the Raiders will take over here at their own 12-yard line. And Charles, it seems like sometimes when you fall down early, there can be a tendency there to try and get it all back in one fell swoop. And that time, that thinking leads to an interception.
And I believe you brought up a really good point there, Brandon, because you try and force plays, right? You try and get all back in one shot, just as you mentioned there. And you know you're going to need some big plays to get back into the game. But ultimately, you really can't force what isn't there.
Gregory Rousseau able to bring him down.
Oh, that was a thing of beauty right there. Look at how quick those blockers fired off the line once the ball was snapped. That was an O-line on a mission, all in sync, and the defense is lucky that play only picked up 5 yards.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Shotgun now for Carr. Throw right side, going to be caught by Waller. 5 yards on first down, but now just a 1-yard pickup there on second. Well, that's always a good place to throw it just because he's one of the biggest targets not only on this team but in the National Football League.
And you and I both know the quarterbacks love these large-bodied tight ends, and why not? Nowadays, they're really wide receivers who are just taller and have a little bit more weight. These guys catch the football, make big plays downfield. In the old days, we wanted them to block. Now coaches want them to catch the football first.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Carr. And that is incomplete.
As a corner, you have to be able to run with guys step for step downfield in man coverage and make up ground quickly in zone. You have to put yourself in position to make plays just like that one we saw there.
So on 4th down, here's A.J. Cole to punt for the Raiders. He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. Returnable here from the 38. 8 yards on the return following a punt of 41. And the Bills will take over the football with a 1st and 10. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. Sitting in first place in the division. They've got an open date on the calendar coming up next week. So, Charles, you and I were talking about this before the game. This one for them kind of has some extra importance.
It certainly does, because if they can get the win here and pad their lead a bit or at least keep pace, then they can really kick their feet up and say a job well done at this point and not have to worry about ball at all until they're back in their facility, back in their meeting room, getting ready for the next game.
Three yards remain for 2nd down. Give to Cook out of the gun. And good space to operate there as he takes this down inside the 35-yard line. It's a gain of 13 and a Buffalo 1st down.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Allen. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
My first thought is surprise, because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
On 2nd down, Cook. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, people say bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
2 minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a first down. Throwing is Allen on 3rd. He's going to wind up and air it out. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Nate Hobbs. And the Raiders are going to take over at their own 30-yard line. So they tried to take the deep shot there, but this defense up to the task.
And a lot of times when you air a ball out like this, if it does get intercepted, there's going to be a lot of space out there to set up a return. And remember, you've got 5 big offensive linemen out there playing on their feet in open space. Not a skill most of them possess that allows for extra yardage on the return.
They'll start out on the ground with Coleman. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
Trying to get it to Adams, but it's intercepted. Tre'Davious White with a pick. And the Bills are going to have it here at their own 32-yard line. So that potentially an important takeaway here in this second quarter.
Because what it does is give their offense a chance to put a drive together. They've got nothing on the scoreboard so far, so you have to think that they need something before the break. And now they have an opportunity.
The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. Allen going to fire quickly and get it to Diggs out wide. And he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people who have to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
On first down, Allen. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Well, this is a half where not just the coverage, but the entire defense is setting the tone in this game.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. They'll send a receiver here in motion right. To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Allen, that's Samuel, caught left side. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver, that makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And complete right side to Cook. He's got room at the 30. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. The Bills' passing game, getting him down the field. They've got another 1st down.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
First down, and they're going to throw with Allen. Man open downfield is Diggs. He's got it. And he is out of bounds right around the 10-yard line. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards. Seems as if the passing attack's starting to heat up a little bit here in the second quarter.
You can sense and you can see the momentum, because now they're reading their patterns downfield, they're understanding the coverages, and they're finding the open holes in the defense.
Throwing on first down is Allen. Toward the pylon, caught. Touchdown. Dawson Knox from 10 yards out. And the Bills are on the board here in the final minute of the first half. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum, take that good feeling, and take it to the locker room, regroup, and start over. They got it here.
They did indeed, and a lot of football, full half to be played. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. Here's Trenton Cannon on the return from his end zone. A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. And with a 14-7 lead, they might just be happy to take this thing on into the tunnel. They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete.
They gave it a shot with a deep pass, but it wasn't going to work there. And now there's less time for them to try and get 3 before the half. Let's see what they dial up on this next snap.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. They'll look to throw here. And incomplete on the deep ball.
That incompletion certainly makes this upcoming 3rd down a little bit more crucial. They need to find the right play to convert here and maybe start to tamp down a little bit of the momentum the other side is starting to gain.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. To throw his Carr. Catch is made by Hunter Renfrow. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts. as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. Throwing on first down is Carr. And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left.
As expected, he's gone to him several times in this game, but that's the first time one has slipped from his grasp. I'll bet he goes back to him, though. He's an excellent player.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Oh, he rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Teron Johnson able to pick it. And the Bills are going to have the football here at their own 35-yard line. Well, this was a 14-0 game not too long ago. Things were looking pretty good. Then you give up the touchdown on the last drive. Now the interception.
So that's a lesson in trying to stay vigilant, isn't it? You have to stay on top of things. Can't relax too much because, as you noted, things change. Now they've got to go out there and get a spark going again and try and slow down this comeback.
A final shot before half for Allen. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. So we have reached halftime with a touchdown. That's the difference on the scoreboard. As we send you to our EA studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. The Bills trail here, but they will get the football first as we are back underway on EA Sports. And no run back here as the third quarter will commence with a touchback. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. Charles, it'll be interesting to see what adjustments this offense made in the locker room. Haven't really been able to get anything going offensively, virtually nothing in the ground attack either. So certainly something has to change here in quarter 3.
And I'm pretty sure their friends from the defensive side of the ball told them exactly that, because those guys, the stop troops, they've been playing pretty well, and they've kept them around in this game. Now they've got some time. The running game struggled in the first half. Opposition knows how to focus on defending the pass here. They've got to re-energize that ground game and maybe open things up for a comeback here in this half.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. So they fake the handoff. Now Allen. Getting the football to Davis on an out route. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a first?
This is what made the West Coast offense a staple around the NFL in the 80s and 90s. You don't have to push the ball deep downfield to come up with big plays, and there's an example of that right there.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Now a give running right, it's Cook. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
Second and 5 now. Allen, throw left side complete. That's Davis. And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line. The left side caught by Diggs. So they'll get nothing out of that play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
So on 4th down, out is Tyler Bass in the Buffalo field goal unit. It'll be a 49-yard attempt from the left hash. The kick by Bass is good. And they'll cut the lead back down to 4 now at 14-10. So they were facing the deficit coming out of the locker room at intermission, and at least they're able to get the field goal to cut into that deficit.
Yeah, now your offense feels pretty good about itself, right? A little bit more up to speed coming out of the break. You turn to your defense now and say, hey, we got 3 there. We're chipping into the lead. Can you help us out? Hold them. Let's get.
Now a hit and a loose football. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
On play action, it's Carr. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a 1st down. Well done. 14 yards is the pickup there at a Raider first.
As they began this drive, I was wondering how they were going to attack since they're playing with the lead. Would they continue to try and push the ball downfield? Well, after one play, it appears that the answer is yes.
First down, here's White. And some room to work. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. Solid gain of 18 and a Raider 1st down. All right, I got to ask you, with these RPOs, essentially the quarterback has 3 options, right? So what's different from that versus the triple option that we see the service academies run at the college level?
As a general rule, the triple option at the college level, most things are called outside of the quarterback faking it to the runner and then keeping it himself and maybe having a trail back. And what I mean is, in the NFL, that option to throw the football all comes about organically. It's a natural deal based on reads. In college, if you're going to throw the football off a triple option, you've actually called that play.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Running left, Coleman. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. 56 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. On third down, here's Coleman. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. That'll make it fourth down after a loss of 1. So Carr will depart, and on comes the Raider kicker Daniel Carlson for the field goal try. This from 44 yards out, left hash. The kick by Carlson is good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. They find themselves down 17-10 as they come up on a 1st and 10. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And a short pickup to about the 27. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. To the air, Allen. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Allen going to throw. Completes it to Samuel. And he is going to have a Bills 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. And Charles, of interest here, that last throw is going to put him over 20,000 yards passing for his career, and that's not a bad number.
You're exactly right about that, and even though it's nowhere near the top of the leaderboard, because when you think about it, Brady and Breeze, they've done that 4 times over. But when you hit 20,000, let's face it, only a little over 100 guys have ever done that in the NFL. It's worthy of some applause.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And this will be taken across midfield and into Raider territory. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. To throw, it's Allen. Finding Knox there, complete. And he'll go out of bounds right around the 40. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a 1st down.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
Allen off the play fake. He's going to get this one out to his fullback. And he is going to lose yardage here. Not what they had in mind there. That's going to go as a loss of 4. Well, plays like that, Charles, no doubt, they're just going to continue to fuel this crowd.
And this defense is already playing well, but it also feeds on the energy of that crowd that you're talking about, and that takes them up to another level. Right now, they're playing really loose. They've got the lead, and what a nice stop they just made there behind the line of scrimmage.
Allen's throw going to be caught by Davis. And the tackle going to be made at the 38.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
They'll need to get it to the 30 for a first. This is third down. Here's Allen to throw it. And that incomplete, nearly intercepted. Remember, he had his hands on one earlier, had one pick. It could have been his second, but instead it's fourth down. And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. And that will cut this lead back down to 4 now. It's 17-13. Well, in a close game like this, obviously you want the touchdown, but certainly they will take the 3.
And they'll be okay with that, but let's throw a little credit to the defense as well. And I'm just glad this doesn't come down to a debate, right? Which side won, partner? Because the defense, hey, we didn't give up a touchdown. The offense, hey, we put 3 on the board. Either way you look at it, I think both sides gained something out of that drive.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's...
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Throwing now is Carr. On the screen, this is Coleman. And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 14-yard line. So it'll be a loss of 10 on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long.
I really don't know where to go with this one. He caught the pass, but in the opposite direction towards his own end zone. That's not one you get every game.
The Raiders on 3rd down. They've hit on 6 of their 8 tries. Very good. This will be 3rd and a mile. Now Carr. And that nearly the pick that they needed. He couldn't pull it in, though, and it's 4th down. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
That's taken it around the 40. It'll go as a 42, make it a 43-yard punt, 6 on the return, and out will come the offense as they take over. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. Their defense accomplished step 1 of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit, and Allen going to be intercepted for the 3rd time. Picked off by Rock Ya-Sin. And the Raiders are going to have the short field here as they'll take over right at the 50. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. 64 yards rushing for him now to this point.
I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. 7 yards there and a first down.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
On the ground, it's a handoff to Coleman. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. A handoff, Coleman between the tackles.
And he's able to work his way down inside the red zone to the 19-yard line.
That one good for 13 and a Raider first down.
At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20.
Now they hand off to Coleman, and he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up 2nd down. Here's Carr to throw. Firing quickly, but it's incomplete.
His back has been a dependable safety valve all game, so he went back to him when his first read was covered. Just unable to connect, so the play results in no gain.
Seventh play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. From the gun, it's Carr.
And that nearly the pick that they needed. He couldn't pull it in, though, and it's 4th down.
So a big one coming now for Daniel Carlson. This will get the lead up to 7. The kick by Carlson is good, and that'll make this a 7-point game. From a defensive perspective, though, I think maybe they're saying, hey, we did what we needed to do, kept this a one-score game.
Yeah, without a doubt, because they were able to bleed some time off the clock, right? Put themselves in a good position, but it's not out of reach yet, okay? Being able to hold them to a field goal means that they do have a chance to come back and win this game.
And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive.
And that last turnover could have proven more costly, but their defense only gave up 3. But now answering with a field goal doesn't do them much on this drive. They need to try and find the end zone. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down. And the trend continues here in the fourth like it was in the first, second, and third. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
His fifth catch tonight, and it's good for a first down. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well, great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Play action. Now it's Allen. He's got a man. It's his fullback. And he'll go out of bounds. It appears right at the 45.
It's pretty easy to overlook the fullback when you're making your assignments defensively in the pass coverage game. But in this case, they made him pay for that oversight and picks up a nice gain.
Just a yard to go here on second down. A 10th carry in the game for Cook. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. But I bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. Allen now looks to throw. That's going to be caught by Samuel. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Throwing again on second down. Allen. And that throw behind his man. He missed him. Incomplete. Curtis Samuel, the one he was looking for. And it's 3rd and 4. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
3rd down. Here's a run by Cook. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. 43 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times.
On 3rd down, that's a good job of situational football and understanding where the first down marker was and getting there.
And it looks like this will be the last play before the 2-minute warning. Here's Allen on 1st and 10. Swinging this out wide here for Cook. Oh, that's just not fair, and now room to run. And he is out of bounds right around the 10-yard line. So it's Bills football here as we get you reset. They come up on a 1st and goal with this game still hanging in the balance. A looming decision to make on the conversion, down 7, but first things first, they need to score as they come up on 1st and goal. Throwing is Allen. A quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
Limited time left on the clock after that incompletion, so I think both sides are going to savor every second to prepare before the next snap. Because once the ball's in motion, it may be a nonstop push to finish this drive off. Everyone better be on the same page right now because I think they're going to try and get several plays off in quick succession if they can.
They'll go again here from the 10-yard line on 2nd and goal. Back to the ground, Cook. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
Well, that's not an easy play for a defensive end because most of his responsibility has him getting upfield and working, but how about his vision to see where the play was going? Crashed down inside and tackled him for a loss.
Third and goal, and keep in mind, very possibly 4-down territory. Here's Allen. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Now Allen, gotta have this one. And that's intercepted yet again, and that could be the backbreaker. Anthony Averett picks it. Keep in mind, he had the 3-interception game last week, so we requested to talk with him this week. He was all smiles. He's still all smiles.
Yeah, and we didn't jinx him at all, did we?
No.
Because ordinarily that happens, things fall off, but not in this case. I think a lot of it goes back to his technique. His ability to see the quarterback throw the ball while understanding where the receiver is running his route allows him to make a lot of plays on the football, and he's taking it away at a really high rate.
They begin the drive with Coleman. And he'll get this up to the 4 right about there, and that's about it. Now the Bills are going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll get it with just a shade under a minute to go in the game.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. He wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
On second down, it's Coleman. And that won't buy him much room. Just a 1-yard gain to the 5. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. That'll leave him with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. They'd like to avoid punting from their own end zone so they could use something here on third down. They run straight ahead here with White. And he's brought down short by a yard. It's a third down gain of 4. The Bills are going to go ahead and use their final timeout as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in quarter number 4. Here's A.J. Cole now as he's on to punt for Las Vegas. It's a 39-yard punt, and good coverage means a loss on the return. And they will take over first and 10. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. As this offense takes the field against CD, remember last drive they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this drive.
And doesn't that just sum up football? We see it all the time, don't we? The defense goes from losing the battle to making a huge play and stealing the momentum. So you know they're riding high right now, and they're ready to challenge this offense and that quarterback one more time.
And we'll see if the offense is up for that challenge here as things start to get more interesting here in this second half. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage.
Oh, he fakes a spike.
We've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass is almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted. And I think the receivers now, when they're running their routes, they want to catch the ball, but they also want to make sure that the defenders don't take it away.
One final try here for Allen.
And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs.
They had to go for it with such little time remaining,
And the Raiders are going to win the football game.
Carr down to a knee, and that ought to just about do it. So this one, a victory for the Las Vegas Raiders.
And they were spurred on by a strong performance in that fourth quarter as they held their opponents off the scoreboard.
Everyone wants to pitch a shutout for the entire game, but when you throw one in the fourth quarter, that tells everyone that you're getting stronger and dominance is starting to take over, right? The way that you close, the way that you finish, that gets preached to you from the time you're playing Little League football all the way up through. And they closed them out with a big-time performance down the stretch.
So for Las Vegas,
their strong start to the year continues as they're up to 5-1. And they'll get to stay put for a few days as they'll host the Denver Broncos next week. Meanwhile, for the Bills, they taste defeat for the first time this season as they drop to 5-1. And now they'll head to the bye week as they'll be back in action in Week 8.